Yeah, thank you. Palau is, like many other Pacific Island countries, is heavily reliant on fossil fuel. We currently import such a substantial amount that it's almost 70% of that of the utilities profit goes back to purchasing fuel. So you can imagine just the significance of that. And with renewables, you know, fairly high in price in the recent in previous years, this is an opportunity where prices have come down for us to really address those issues. But yeah, those
And so in electricity, what's the main source of fuel for that?
diesel generation, yeah.
And and um, and in terms of your long-term planning, what kind of mix are you kind of aiming for? Would you like to sort of aim for, provided you had help, say by 2020, 2030?
Well, we're I guess with Palau, we're not as fortunate as many of the other Pacific islands who have more various alternatives such as hydro. We have very limited hydro. We don't have very relevant data as far as wind, but we're very focused on solar. We currently have about 11% integrated penetration into our grid, and that would kind of keeps us on track to meet our 2020 target. Um, so yeah, at a national level, our main focus in terms of renewables is solar, but priority-wise, we're really focusing on energy efficiency, just to keep things at bay.
So give me a sense. People always talk about energy efficiency. What do you actually mean by that?
Energy efficiency is really looking at addressing uh, our dependency, relieving ourselves from dependency on fossil fuels, power generation, and addressing it through supply side and demand side management. So supply side, our utilities are making huge steps to really look at the efficiency of their power generation, as well as going out there and doing outreach the to the community to look at the demand sides and making programs available through national development banks and our local vendors to have these technologies, energy efficiency technologies, as well as renewables that are locally available and affordable to the people. So those are some of the initiatives that we've been really trying to work on, being very remote from the rest of the world.
Yeah. So you've got a population of about 20,000. What's your idea then? Are you going to have longer term? Is it a series of kind of microgrids, or how are you planning to really sort of spread power all around your islands? I'm presuming there's a sort of archipelago, so it's not as easy as just having a centralized grid system.
Well, the Palau is very unique because we are currently about 99% um, uh, connected to the grid. Everybody has pretty much has access to the grid right now. So what we're focusing on is grid connection, grid connected solar PVs. So in order to meet that, of course, there needs to be a serious advancement in terms of storage, energy storage. So we're looking at those areas. In the meantime, we've already started venturing into areas where we can look into wind. Um, we don't have hydro, but there's ocean technology that I know is still under development. So we're keeping a close eye on those technologies. But yeah,
And finally, give me an idea from a Palau Nationals perspective. There's been a lot of talk here about finance. If you don't receive some flows of finance, will it be impossible for you to invest more in renewables? I mean, what's the sort of situation for many small island states in terms of your desire for to invest in cleaner forms of energy?
yeah. I mean, finances is key. I mean, it's key. It was key in getting us to where we are now, and will remain key for us to get where to actually meet our targets. And if we want to look at increasing our commitments post 2020, then the finances through this Green Climate Fund is going to be key to this. So I think the access, I know to understand that there are pledges now, but the question is, when are they going to be accessible? When will they actually be accessible for Pacific Islands? And that's one thing that for a population of 20,000, there's very little we can do, although we are ready for the challenge and we've already put plans up. We're ready to to fight the fight of climate change, but we need the international community to feel the same way and be on this with us on the same fight.